right. We should be recording. Let me double check. Okay. All right. So the SPY for the monthly, we are currently in a 2-2 reverse pattern. Oh, wait a minute. This ain't SPY. Here we go. As I say, I don't know what happened between yesterday and today, but SPY was definitely not in a 2-2 reverse. All right. So currently the SPY, we're looking at a 3-2 reversal on the bearish side. And the reason this is relevant, if we go by the 50% rule, SPY is getting very close to that halfway point of that 3 candle. So if SPY loses that 463.96 level, there's a very good chance that it is going to retrace to the bottom of that wick on that 3 candle from last month, which is sitting right around, was that 449, 450. And a good chance if that happens, it's going to test that 8 EMA. And then obviously if we lose the 8 EMA, there's a good chance, well, I shouldn't say good chance, guys, but there's a possibility that it could test the 21 EMA in the future as well. That would be a big move though. So let's hope we don't see that. But I do see us testing that 8 if we do lose that 463, 464 price point. All right. Let's glance at the weekly. Weekly, we are currently, again, a 3 bar for the week. It took the bottom and the top of last week's candle, and it is sitting in a bearish pattern as well, right on the 8 EMA. Again, if we lose that 8 EMA, it's a very good chance we could visit the 21 EMA if we stay in this bearish pattern. The daily, is looking at a 2. We are in a 2-2 bearish continuation pattern right now. So everything on the SPY is looking very bearish if we don't see a reversal here this next week. So thing to think about as we're looking at trades this week. Everything's in bearish mode. So just keep that in mind. Now, QQQs. Oh yeah, guys, if you got any questions or requests, just drop them in the general chat, or you can just jump on live here with me. Would love to have some company. Okay, let's see. So the QQQ on the monthly, we're in a bearish pattern as well. Let me just pop this up a little bit. Scroll out a little bit here. So we're having an inside month, barely. We're good chance we're going to take the bottom of last month's wick out and become a 2 down for the month. And again, as the SPY, this one is in danger of losing the 8 EMA. And again, once we lose that 8, there's a chance that it could come down and test the 21. Let's hope not, because that would be a big move as well for the Qs. Let's see. The weekly, again, another bearish pattern. It actually has taken out, excuse me, the 8 and the 21 EMA. Let's look. Now what we got next here. So the 50 isn't that far away. If we look, all right. The last time it tested the 50 back in April. Actually, when it was that shit, that was the was that the COVID dip? I believe it is. So wow, we haven't tested the 50 since the COVID crash. All right. So that would be unsettling if we did test the 50 on the weekly here. But again, we are in a bearish pattern, so keep that in mind for this week. Let's look at the daily. The daily has already dropped below. Let's see where the 100's at. Oh, Jesus, right. So we've dropped below all of my moving averages that I use. The 8 to 21 EMA and the 50 and the 100 MA on the Qs. So we are definitely in a bullish sequence for the QQQs. All right. So let's go and review last week's 3-2 bullish reversals. Start monthly. All right. So the NCLH, Norwegian Cruise Line, we are still waiting for an entry. We are currently inside for the month. But it is green. So again, our entry is that blue pivot to the 2338. I'm looking for a close above that blue for an entry, or a close above the 30-minute on the daily if it looks good compared to the SPY Qs, and for an entry as well. So still watching that one. Let's look at the weekly. Let me close some of these. All right. So we did close above the 8 EMA on the weekly for Norwegian. So that's good. We are moving up. Now we just got to take that 21 EMA to be in a really good bullish pattern here. Also, one thing that I didn't, one other indicator that I use, let's look at the daily, for the Strat is the this one here, the TC, the time frame. Oh, well, I can't think of it right now. For some reason it slipped my mind what this indicator is called. The time frame, continuous time, something like that, guys. I'll find it here in a minute. Somebody know what it is, throw it up in the chat. For some reason it slipped my mind here. Full time frame continuation, I believe, is something like that. But what that basically is, guys, as you can see, it just gives me a little more confidence when I'm looking at trades. If everything's moving, everything's green or everything's red, or if you see some green and some red, it's just an indication of where the buyers are. So if everything's green, you know that the sellers are in control. Everything is up on the daily, the weekly, the monthly, quarterly, and the yearly is what this tracks from the daily. And if you look at the weekly, it'll throw out those as well. The weekly, daily. The monthly, for I don't know, some reason this particular indicator doesn't show, but if you just pop back to the weekly, it'll give you the month, quarter, and year. This is it right here. Let me just pop that up, see if it says what it is. It's just called TC in TradingView. If you guys want to add that indicator, it's just another peace of mind that helps me if something's bullish or bearish. Okay, so let's move. Look at that daily quickly. Sorry, guys. And again, Norwegian had a nice day on Friday. It got above both of those, the 8 and the 21 EMA. So it's looking very, very bearish. So let's hope it continues that. Would like to see an entry on that. There's a nice little gap to fill here. And the risk reward is very good on this one as well. All right, let's move next. The next one was American Airlines. This one, we did have it did cross my entry but pulled back, so it's sitting right at my entry target. So, but I have not taken a position, still watching to see how it performs this week. With the SPY being in a bearish pattern, so I just want to see how the airlines react next week to the SPY, and to see what kind of, this past week we had a bunch of airline news with cancellations and delays. Didn't seem to affect it though, so we did have so that's a good sign. If you look at the weekly, we closed above the 8 and the 21 EMA, so that's good. We're still, like I said, right at our entry target. So I will be watching this one closely this week for an entry. And let's see where the daily sits. Again, on the daily, had a nice candle on Friday where we closed above the 8 and the 21 EMA. We're sitting, let's see, no, there's no, we already filled that gap. It was a little gap, but it got filled. It got filled last week. So the gap's complete. We had a little pullback after it closed that gap. But I'm still waiting for entry on that one. All right. BA, Boeing had a interesting week on Boeing. We did again cross my entry, but I did not take a position. I was still watching. It pulled back right again to my entry, so I'm waiting to get a confirmation that it's not going to pull back any further. Just a second, guys. All right, so yeah, we're right back at our entry on the monthly. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, as you can see, last week Boeing had a really nice green candle. We both closed above the 8 and the 21 EMA, which is good. We got the full time frame continuation going on. So Boeing is definitely in a bearish pattern. Sellers are, the buyers are definitely in control here. And the daily, as you can see, we had a nice 2 down, 2 up reversal. So that's good. We're back in the bullish pattern. So again, watching for an entry. We didn't quite pull back, so we'll see how it does. Wouldn't mind if it did pull back just a hair and test my entry and bounce off of that. That will be a good indicator. What we don't want to see, we don't want it to see it come back and test this 8 again. So let's see if we can keep that above our entry to get a good entry on Boeing. All right, let's look at United Airlines. Again, United. So far, performing well. On the monthly, we did close above our target. Let's see. CS indicator with the numbers, that's the Strat. Those are the Strat indicators. If you watch my first video, I think I did some explanation of how the Strat works. There's only 3 types of candles with the Strat. As you can see, we got 1, 2s, and 3s. Go back and watch that video, or even better, look at some of the videos that I recommended from the Alex Options or Sarah Strat Sniper. They explain it really well, how the candles work. But in a nutshell, the 3 is an outside. A 3 takes out the previous candle high and the previous candle low, so it's an outside or engulfing candle. A 2 is a continuation candle. It's either a 2 down or a 2 up. As you can see here, this one, it didn't take out the top of the 3. It did take out the bottom, so that's a 2 down. The next candle didn't take out the bottom, but did take out the top, so that's a 2 up. So that's a reversal pattern. Got a 2 down and a 2 up. That's what we look for. We like to play reversals in the Strat. So we're currently in a good reversal 2 up, 2 down pattern this month for, what are we looking at? UAL. So again, this one closed right above our entry. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly again, we got a nice continuation here. It closed above the 8 and the 21 EMA. So it's nice bullish pattern. And daily. Again, nice 2 down, 2 up reversal on the daily, which took us back up above our entry point. And guys, if you're looking for an entry on some of these, you haven't missed them. These that are especially really close to the entry, you can still enter. Just maybe wait for a pullback this week, see if that pulls back a hair. If it doesn't, I would watch, if you want to get in it, any of these plays, just look at the, something like that right there, that wick on the daily. If it crosses that wick, it'll be a continuation of the 2-2 reversal. That would be a good entry point there if you want to get in. Same as with the BA, if it crosses that, a good continuation on that wick there. If you guys want to look for entries. Same thing on American Airlines on the daily. If you guys want to get in these, that's another good indication. If it gets above that, that could be your Alerts. Yeah, you could set alerts on these. Sorry guys, I'm having a brain fart. If you want to get some entries on these, the ones that have already passed my set entries, so there's still time. These are monthlies that I'm taking on these. So looking at, I think it's February and March contracts for entry. All right, do we look at the date? Yeah, we're on the daily now. All right, let's look at Merrick. Merrick actually performed a really good had a nice that 3-2 reversal. We're currently sitting almost halfway, a little over halfway from my target. Fortunately, I did not get an entry on this one. I wasn't watching it close enough after it alerted. It took off on me, so I will not be entering this at this time unless it gets to my target. Because once, let me see if it's on the weekly. I think it's on the daily. No, it's not on the weekly. But you can see very nice close over there. We even engulfed a nice 3 candle on the weekly. Took out the bottom and then just took off. I think it's on the daily. Yeah, there's a it's right in the gap actually. So there's a little gap to fill on the daily here, but it closed above the gap, so very good chance it's going to continue. I hope it continues and fills that gap. Once it does that, if it gets above this, we got another gap up here as well. You can see on the daily we got another gap right here. So if it gets above this green, that'll be another good entry point. This price target here of 82.62, forget, because if it'll be above, it also has some resistance here with this volume. This price volume here, if it gets above that, then yeah, very good chance that could be a nice entry as well to come and fill this gap too, because technically, even if we look at this monthly chart, I've got my target set on the halfway mark of this 3, but a true 3-2 reversal, your target is actually the wick on that 3. So our target really is this 91.38. So we've got a lot. If I drag this up here, if Merit does have an awesome month, I mean that's over 11. That's almost 12 to 1. Risk to reward there, so that would be an awesome even if we, let's see, let me oh, that's not what I want. Yeah, it is. That's what I want. Even if we enter here, and let's move our probably be better to look at this on the weekly. Let's see, where's a good stop for the weekly. So if we enter here, even if that last wick on that 3, if we set our stop from this previous week's high, still got a 4 to 1 risk. So very good possibility, or very good risk to reward there for Merit. All right, move on. Let's look at the gap. I did take a small position in gap when it crossed my my entry. It's a starter position. I'm really looking to see if it'll get up into the gap before I take some more. So we did see a little bit of pullback. Uh, this past week, once it crossed, did pull back to be just a little under, my initial entry. So if you guys are bullish on this, which I am, it's back at the entry point. If you want to take another, if you guys want to grab a small starter position, as you can see, it almost got into. Let me get on the daily. Yep, on the 5th, it got real close to that gap entry and pulled back. So now we're sitting just above the 8 and the 21 on the daily. So hopefully that we'll see a bounce here. That one will get us a nice entry again and start filling that gap. All right. Any questions so far, guys? Is any of this making sense? Am I confusing you? Am I going too fast? Let me know. I can definitely slow it down some. Okay, let's go back. Let's look at lift. So lift for the monthly. Looks like we tested the 8 and had a pullback. So I'm not in. I did not take an entry on this. So it's pulled back and it's getting down below the getting close to my what would have been my stop loss. And it's looks like it's in danger of having a 2-2 reversal here on the monthly. We'll see what next week brings. But it's definitely in a bearish pattern at the moment. It's trying to reverse on us. Same thing on the weekly. We had a 2 up, but it's 2 up and it's red. So it's in danger of reversing as well. If it takes out this pivot here, will definitely be in a bearish engulfing pattern. This 2 will turn into a 3. So just keep an eye on that, guys. And as you can see, the time frame continuation here, that's all red. So sellers right now are in control. So I don't look for this one to. I'm not very confident on this one right now. The daily. The daily, as you can see, the daily looks good, but the daily is the only thing. We had a 2 down, but it's green, so. But it did close right above the 21, but it's gotta retake that 8 and retake last week's red candle here, or at least retake this candle to be a 2-2 reversal for the sellers to step back in and get above. Is that my entry? What is that? Oh yeah, I just put this one on. But yeah, that's to get back to my entry. It's got some work to do. All right, Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean looks good on the monthly. We did have cross of my entry, but a pullback. So I'm still watching this one as well. I am very bullish on cruise lines right now. Most travel right now, anyway. Um, so I'm anticipating this to work out this month, but it's got to hurry up and get moving. So let's hope this week we'll get some good news and maybe these cruise lines will start moving. But it did close right under the 21 EMA, so but we are bullish for the month. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly had a nice close above the 8 and the 21, so that's good. Just waiting to get back above my entry there for a possible position on the weekly. And let's take a quick look at the daily. The daily is an inside, so that could be a good sign. We got an inside candle on the daily. So basically, an inside candle is kind of like a consolidation. Um, the buyers or the sellers did not take out last week's or the last day's top or bottom, so it wasn't strong enough. So it's kind of consolidating um, from the last from the previous day. So the sellers and the buyers are struggling to see which direction they want to go. So if we do overtake this wick, which would be the entry again, it could be a good sign to take a small position. I'm definitely going to be watching that. There's no gaps. We've already filled that gap. There's no gaps to fill. But we are, like I said, above the 8 and 21, so there's not much resistance once we get above there and stay above that entry of the 82.57. Got a little bit of price volume here and here for resistance, but not a lot. Like I said, as long as we don't get any news that would affect it, I'm hoping that this will continue to move up this month. All right, let's move on. Uber. Some of you might be in this with Eva. I had a small position when Eva called it out, but I stopped out a while back, so I am not in this currently. I know she's bullish. I think a lot of bullish flow came in, but it doesn't look good on a Strat perspective. Right now it's in a 2-2 reversal. 2 up, 2 down, 2 up, but it's bearish. I mean, yeah, it's in a bearish sequence right now. If we lose that 39.62 price point, it's a that's the 50% rule on that last candle. If we lose that, very good possibility it can test that 34.88 wick. So if you guys are watching this or you're in it now, keep an eye on it. Again, on the monthly, it so far it's below the 8 and the 21 as well. Let's see, where's the 50 at? Where's the 50? Oh, we might not have enough. I think the Uber's Uber's pretty new, so there is no 50 on the monthly. So we just got a little bit of 8 and 21 to go by on the monthly. But again, it's in a bearish pattern, guys. So if you're in it, watch it closely. Honor your stops if you're not out of it already. Again, on the weekly, had a nice engulfing from the inside from the previous week. Again, it's in a bearish pattern with the shooting star kind of candle there. Closed right at the 21 EMA, but I see this continuing down and taking out these wicks on the weekly as well. Could even come down here, like I said, and test that monthly. There's your monthly low. You can see it bounced 1, 2, 3. So it has some good support there. It could test it again, especially if it gets below 39.62. So if you guys are in Uber, watch it closely. All right, how's the daily look? Support. Yeah, we got an inside candle Friday. It's a bearish candle. It closed again below the 8 and 21. So watch for it to take out this previous day's low and then test that 39.62 on the daily as well. All right. Let's see, the 50% rule. Basically, I use it a little different than Sarah when I'm looking at 3-2 reversals. But I got a little background there. So, if you're not going to say anything, please mute. Thank you. But the 50%, Sarah Strat Sniper explains it really well. She's got a YouTube video explaining the 50% rule. But basically, uh, let's see, where was I at on the monthly on this? So basically, your 50% rule is when you see a reversal after the current month candle takes out one, either the bottom or the top of the previous month's candle or day, week, whatever you're looking at, and it reverses. If it crosses the 50%, the halfway point of that previous candle, it's a high probability that it's going to retrace and take out the bottom of that previous candle once it crosses the 50%. If you this indicator here that I got, it's just a little Fibonacci. I've got it set where it just is at the 0.5, which is the halfway mark, and 1. So that, let's say if I take that, let's delete this. If I draw that Fibonacci again, basically I just go from the bottom to the top of the previous wick. And it's an easy way to see where the 50% is on that previous candle. So it's another strat indicator that Sarah uses religiously. I've seen some of her plays where it has worked out on, if you look, I think Chewy was a good one. DraftKings, I think, was another one where it retraced. But it seems to work, a high probability that it's going to work from watching some of her plays. So yeah, that's the 50% in a nutshell. But yeah, please look on YouTube and watch her video. She explains it much better than me. All right, let's see. Move on. I think I got another one. Digital turbine. It's in a bearish pattern as well. On the monthly, it's below the 8, closed right on the 21 for the month. So it's still an inside month. I'm not confident this is going to turn around and still have enough time for this play to work. It could. So That's why I haven't deleted it. Just going to watch and see what it does. But I'm not confident that one's going to reverse on us and continue. Again, Astrazeneca, I didn't draw a risk reward on this one. I think I just let this one on here. I'm just watching this one. I don't know if I'm going to take an entry on this if it gets above my entry here. We'll see. But you can see it's currently an inside month, so it's bearish at the moment, but it's currently closed, stopped above that 8 EMA. So we'll see. Okay. All right, guys. So that's a review from what I'm watching from the previous week or the monthly 3-2 bearish reversals. All right. So I posted a few scans that I did earlier today. I'm going to go over a few of those now with you guys, just give you my opinion on those. First will be the inside, and these the weekly scans here, these can be much shorter, like weeklies, if you want to play these a shorter time frame. Usually the inside plays, those could be like day trades, or like I said, weeklies. If you want to swing something into the next week, just depends on the price action, really. I mean, if you get, let's go to the daily Neo here. So basically, Neo was one of my top scans that came up as far as the volume, high volume. So this is a high probability mover here with the volume. As you'll see, like the top 10, I have my top 10 listed here for inside plays. All right, basically how you play inside days, which some of you may know. These can be bullish or bearish. Basically, your entry would be the top or the bottom wick of that previous day's candle, and your target is the previous candle. So like I said, these can be quick day trades, intraday trades, just depending on how you want to play them. Looking at Neo, I would be pretty bearish on this one. Everything looks bearish. The time frame is all bearish. So I would look for downside on this play, and look for a break of that bottom wick from the previous day if you wanted to do a day trade. And then there can be your first target, 28.28, and then you could take the next wick if you wanted to follow it, and then the next wick, that could be your targets right there, guys. Entry and your targets. That's how you play inside days. All right, I'm going to go through these quick just so you guys just give you an idea which way I think it's going to go. Again, Uber, it was an inside day, so I'm bearish on that. Again, you could entry here. There's your first target, and then your next target could be that 39.62. Oxy, I really like the daily on the Oxy. It's got a nice little bullish. Is that a bullish flag? What do we want to call that? A bullish pennant? If you look, got this coming up here. So I believe that's like a bullish pennant, they call it. So it's got double inside actually day. So this one could be really have some fireworks tomorrow or this week on Oxy. Again, is that now? Let's see where. Looking back on the daily, so you can see we're sitting right at some little resistance at this price volume here. But we get a break. Let's see. We break. So we get a break. 33.42. Again, here's your targets. If we get above that, then we got, if we can get above that 33.82, that price volume there, we got there's some more targets here. So, and again, time frame is all bullish. Sellers are definitely in control at the moment, so this one would be a good one to watch on Monday. If you guys like playing inside days, put that one on your watch list. All right, Facebook. Facebook, we got a 3-1 inside. It's a little bearish, but again, who knows? We could have a nice reversal and get this green and take these pivots out up here. Maybe look, see if Facebook wants to challenge its all-time high again. Or we could take out the bottom as well. These 3-1 plays is another one of my favorites to scan for. Reason being that we've got buyers trapped here when it reversed, and then all these sellers here on this 3. We got sellers trapped down here, and then the 1. These guys even more consolidation where these sellers are trapped again for another day, sellers and buyers, sitting on this nice little volume here. So if we get a break of this, you know, that could set some stop losses for those who shorted, and if it takes this one out, even more stop losses. So we could see a good continuation once it breaks that inside. The same way on the downside. If it takes out this bottom pivot, the buyers are going to start being stopped out. And again, if it follows through and comes down here, it's going to be even more. So we could see some bullish action once it crosses this 3 as well, this outside bar here. So those could be pretty explosive, the 3-1 plays. So keep an eye on Facebook tomorrow. Plug. Again, inside bearish. I'd be looking for downside on that one, guys. Excuse me. PayPal. PayPal is, I don't know if there might be a little bit of play here, but we're sitting in a PayPal's been in this channel ever since had that little bit of an earnings, then it just looked like it was going to fill the gap. I bet you there's a lot of buyers trapped right here. Looking like it was going to fill that gap, and then it just reversed like crazy. So, but now we are sitting in this channel right now. So I am not interested in PayPal till it gets out of this channel, to be honest. I want to see some price action out of this channel before let's see, when's PayPal been? Yeah. There's a lot of price volume right there as well in this little channel. That's why it's probably a lot of struggles going on between buyers and sellers. So, yeah, I'm not looking for a play till we get out of this channel here with PayPal before it gets bullish again. Could be a while. So, just watching it. You could do some quick intradays once it breaks that, because it is another 3-1. So there might be some action. Maybe this week it might be the week that it breaks out of that channel. Who knows? Same way to the buyout downside as well. So we'll see. But a quick day trade could be, could be had here if it does break either way and then breaks that previous 3 candle as well. So one to watch. All right. Macy's on the daily. Again, closed red for the day on Friday, and it's just below the 8 and the 21. So again, this one could go either way. I'm not bearish or bullish. Just wait for the break, see which way it goes if you want to do a day trade or a weekly on this one. Marvell. Again, Marvell, if you look, it's in another, on the daily, it's kind of got a little channel going on here as well that I'd like to see it break out of. It's definitely, if we do see some downside, we got another gap to fill right here. Test that, come down and fill that gap right there. So it's not too far from that. If we see some more downside, if it takes out that previous candle, breaks out of that little bit of a channel there, could test filling that gap. So definitely something to watch there. CSX, again, is transportation. Transportation is pretty hot right now. So this one, it did test that 8. So even though it is kind of bearish inside, I do see. I think this could be bullish this week. So if you want to throw that one on your watch list. Again, same type of day trade here, guys. Where's this been? Even though it did have still 2 down. It's 2 down in green. The previous day, we got 2 down. We got 2 down. 2 down. 2 down. So we got all this continuation, and then possible reverse, but didn't quite make it, but it's green. And then we have a green inside, so we could see a potentials of reversal on Billy, but again, just have to wait and see. It's got to get back above that 8 and 21, so it'll definitely have a little struggle there. Yeah, it's nowhere near the others. So Lucid. What did I throw Lucid on here for? Was it the weekly or the monthly? I think Cap. I'm not sure why I threw this one on here. On the inside. I think Cap. I don't think Cap's on here. Cap Rolling. He DM'd me and asked me about this one. I told him I'd talk about it quick. So I'll do that right here. He just wanted my thoughts. So Lucid, is bullish again on the monthly. It's got a nice little hammer at the moment. Uh, I was watching this one before, but then it actually, I think I posted it, looked like it was going bearish. It went and took out this other entry I had for a bearish play, and then it reversed. I think there was one of Ben's plays on Friday where he was going, I think he was playing puts as well, and it stopped out. Or was it no? No, I think he was eventually playing calls, and then he got stopped out, and then it turned and ran on him, which is what we saw. So it's bullish again. Let's look at the weekly quick. Yeah, the weekly looks very just like the monthly. But yeah, you can see on that daily. So the previous, like on Thursday, it did. Hit my entry to go for puts, but then it reversed. And then Friday, it just continued with that reversal. That see two down, two down in green. So we're looking for a reversal there, and sure enough, we got a two up on Friday, and back above my initial entry point. So if you're looking for an entry on Lucid, we are definitely it's bearish again. I would wait for it to break this green candle again. I'm not the green candle. This green entry here on the 42.50 for an entry. And as you can see, here's my targets up here for Lucid. All right. Let's see. Double inside days. Again, a double inside is basically, well, like it says, it's two inside days in a row, so some serious consolidation. Basically, again, it's just, and it's also, if you guys, you see these, you can draw these patterns as well, where you might see some people put these in. So basically, it's a triangle. And these are neither bullish or bearish. So you can set your entry here. Look again, and here's your targets. Entry here, target. So we could go either way. But there's a high probability that once it takes out one of these, top or bottom here, that we'll see some good movement. Oxy we already talked about. Rig. What is this? Industrial drilling. Again, it's just a double. It's very low. It's only, this is a very cheap, inexpensive. So what's the movement on these on the daily? Very little. So I probably wouldn't get in this. I just popped it on here because it's a double. Just showed up on my scan. I usually leave my double inside scans pretty wide open so I can see, because you're usually not going to see a lot of them. So I wouldn't mess with rig. Mondelez. This one does have. It's not the greatest price action, but it's okay. This one does pop up on my scans every now and then, but I usually don't pay much attention to it. But again, it's another example of a double inside day. It's actually, I think it made a new all-time high. It did. Yeah, made a new all-time high this month. So, take it for what that's worth. But again, maybe it could test that all-time high. Looks like it tested it again here. Broke it here. Tested it and then pulled back, so maybe it'll test it again. Maybe we'll get a little bit of something there. You never know. With all-time highs, uh, it's risky. Because, could see some price exhaustion there. A lot of people probably already took profits here. That's why it pulled back after it hit it again. So who knows? But I don't see this one going crazy. Chegg, this one is. I see this one talked about every now and then, but as you can see, it's in a nice little. I don't even have to draw this, so you guys can see this. Where it's been in this channel for ever since that earnings drop. Still got that big gap to fill, and it's been there since early November, so I don't see this one moving anywhere anytime soon. It is sitting right at my EMAs, so but it's been hugging both of them for a few days now. So who knows? Maybe it'll test that channel again and bump out. If it does, we can get in this little, got a little bit of a volume desert here. Maybe. I don't know. Endeavor Group. What is this? Media conglomerates. It's just one popped up on my scans. It's not one that I hasn't been around long either. Nope. So actually, in the monthly, it's in a two up, two down. Well, two up reversal happening right now. On the monthly, it engulfed last week. It's bearish. And daily's the only thing that looks a little bullish. It did close above that 8 EMA, so again, if it does, I mean, could be a nice day trade if we get enough volume. It does have almost one and a half price movement on the daily. So again, something if you guys want to watch. These are up on the up in the Strat room. All right. Let's see what else. Do I have anything here? Oh, let's see. 3-1 dailies. Let's look at these quick. Like we talked about before at Facebook. PayPal is one. We talked about. Baker Hughes. I'm just going to go through these quick, guys, and see if I see anything that. Is eBay on a monthly? Oh, shit. So eBay, even though it didn't take out, no, it didn't. Wouldn't be a true 50% play because it didn't take out the top. So never mind. But I do see on eBay, guys. Let me go back what I was looking at. It does look very bearish on eBay on the daily. I would look for continuation down. Especially with it, if it loses that 21. I'm sorry, the 8. It's already below the 21. And that's that halfway point, pretty close to that 3. I could see that retracing all the way back here. So that could be a nice bullish play this week on eBay. Dash. It looks bullish too, guys. To play that to the downside. Now we work. Dollar Tree has tested the 8. So if it stay above that 8, I could see it coming back. Breaking that 3 and testing these pivots over here. Get back. Is that an all-time high here? I believe it was. Yep. Monthly looks pretty good too. Let's see. It's trying to do a reversal here, but same thing on the weekly. Weekly looks good as well. So yeah, I'd be pretty bullish on Dollar Tree here. If you guys want to put that on your list. Watch for it to take out that inside, and then these pivots here, and maybe test all-time highs again. What is this construction? All right. Definitely having a good month. Pekar. It's definitely bullish. Could see that one continuing, so that would be a bullish play as well. All right. Let's see. I believe that's all I got for this week, guys. Let's see. I did want to look at travel. So this is a travel ETF I found last week that I'm kind of watching. Had a nice 3-2 reversal, and I don't have entries or anything set. Just watching to see how this kind of plays along with the travel theme. But it looks good. A few of these here that I've got listed, they're all in this ETF, but there's quite a few. If you look up that ETF, it pretty much has all the airlines, all the hotels, cruise lines, anything related to travel is in this ETF. So it's a good indicator to watch to see how travel's doing as a whole. So right now it looks good. Another one I was watching this week, transportation. It's looking a little bearish on the month, as you can see, just barely. So we do still have the 2 up, the 2-2. I'm sorry, this was a 2 down, 2 up, but that was a 2 down, and it finished green, so it was reversing last month. So hopefully it'll continue with that reversal. This will turn around and have a 2-2 continuation. So I'm looking like CSX. That was one of the ones I was watching on the railroads for. Was that the daily inside? Yeah. CSX. Union Pacific. Just another railroad. That I'm watching as well. In golf last week, so we'll see what this week brings. See if we get an inside or a break of either side here. What was the other one? Norfolk Southern. Norfolk Southern had a three candle last week too on Friday. So it's another one I'm watching. The railroads look pretty good right now. UPS had the 2 down, then 2 up, reverse. So UPS, if anybody's watching it, it looks good now. FedEx again, had the 2 down, 2 up, reversal. So FedEx is looking good right now as well. So pretty much, I'm just jumping around here, guys. Has anybody got any requests or questions? I would definitely look at some charts if you want to get my perspective from the Strat on something you're watching. I'd be happy to. Let me see what else we got here, guys. Can you check Oracle? All right. Let's look at Oracle. I think that was on one of my lists. I remember looking at it. All right, let's pop Oracle up. Okay, let's look at the monthly on Oracle. All right. So the monthly Oracle looks good. It's got a little, took out the bottom of that 3, reversed on that 8 EMA, so it's looking good for a reversal on the monthly. Same thing for the weekly. We got Two down, two down, two down green, so it wants to reverse. Uh, if that can continue and get above these 8 EMAs, be a little resistance there. So what we want to see this week, see a close above those 2 EMAs this week to confirm that bullish pattern. Uh, we got so yeah, the daily looks good. Two down green, and we got a 2 reverse. Did see some resistance at that 8 there. A little pullback. So what we want to see tomorrow, Monday, see that continuation, get a close above that 8 EMA. Then we can test the 21. So yeah, I do like this for a bullish continuation. Say there is a little bit of gap here. We're a good ways from that though. But yeah, let's see where the, okay, yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a struggle getting above those EMAs and MAs, but it looking like it wants to give it a shot. So definitely one to watch for day trades. Get a close above that 8. Once you get that, if you want to go long, I would do definitely a starter position. Let's see if I wouldn't go heavy until it clears. If it clears all these moving averages, and then you could see, as you can see, once it gets above a little bit of price volume here. But yeah, if we can get back in a bullish pattern and get above here, so it's pretty wide open here, so we could see a lot of movement. Once we get above that, maybe we can get back up there this month. But I do see if it does want to go the other way, we got a little bit of support here, which it bounced off, as you can see, this area here. So I would watch for if it does decide to reverse, if it drops below that area or somewhere around in this, yeah, somewhere around in here. Put that, yeah. So if it gets back in this zone here, guys, definitely be careful. Could see, because if it drops below that, then yeah, there's not much resistance here to test these other pivots over here. As you can see, it moved pretty fast through this area here back earlier last year. So if we lose that, you could see that fall pretty quick. So just be mindful. But it looks pretty bearish. I mean bullish. I don't know why. I got bear on my mind this week. All right. Anybody else got any more questions or chart requests? Any sectors you'd like to look at? Yeah. Semiconductors are looking terrible. Yeah. That is definitely looking dangerous. Big volume desert there. Is anybody in semiconductors long? Definitely keep an eye out this week. We could see some serious downside if that doesn't reverse. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it here. Unless you got any other questions. All right. Well, I definitely appreciate those that tuned in. Like I said, I am recording this. So if you came in late, if you want to catch the first half, I'll have it up on YouTube sometime later tonight. And I appreciate it, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend. It's a little rainy here. It was nice, though. The weather was real, as far as temperature today, earlier today, was really nice. So got outside for a little bit with the dogs. But all right, guys. Hope you have a wonderful week. Look forward to seeing you in the chat this week. And I will talk to you soon. Have a good evening.